You're listening to the G-Spot podcast with Bree
and Alex,
where we dive into personal growth, lifestyle, relationships, and everything in between.
Chill with us every Wednesday for good vibes and real talk.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the G-Spot. Here we are once again. Hello, Alex.
Hey. Okay, let's start that over. Please don't let me say things like that. What was that? Who am I?
A few moments later.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the G-Spot podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing good. I'm lacking some sleep. So we've started putting my toddler. I know. We started putting my my little girl in her toddler bed at night. So it's not been an easy transition. But you know what? I'm hopeful, trying to stay optimistic.
Yeah, you're like
tired, but we're going to get this down.
I just came back from New York a couple of days ago. And it was my first time there, guys. It was my first time in New York.
Tell us all about it.
Oh, I will. It was like something I'd been waiting for a while. I had really been wanting to visit for a couple of years now, actually. And of course, the pandemic hit in 2020. We actually had a plan.
You had planned.
Yeah, we did. We had planned to go to New York and then Paris. And then everything got canceled. Like the flight got canceled. Everything was just gone. And
I remember.
But
you
luckily,
were crushed.
Yes, I was very crushed. But luckily, this time around, we actually had more time in New York than we would have last year. Because last year it was like 3 days or something in New York, and then 4 or 5 in Paris, something like that. But this time we actually had like a full week in New York, which was necessary because New York is giant and you want to see everything.
Right.
But the main part of my trip, and actually the reason why I just up and went and got a flight, was because I signed up for this girl's choreography class.
That's so cool.
And if you follow me on socials, guys, I actually posted... Of course, I'm like embarrassed to post it, but like...
No, that's so cool. You did something new. That's awesome.
Yes, and it was like intimidating, but I posted our performance on there, our final choreography performance.
Yeah.
But by the way, I did not know there was going to be any choreography. It's like a beginner's choreography class, but this girl, Galen Hooks, she's like a big deal in the industry, and she's a big-time choreographer. And I've looked up to her stuff. Like, she actually has a bunch of viral videos. I think if you look up River or the song by Billie Eilish, what's it called? The spooky song. What is it called? Bury a Friend. Bury a Friend.
Okay.
If you look that up, I'm pretty sure her choreography will be one of the first results. Her choreography went viral for those songs, and ever since like I saw those, I was like, whoa, like this girl knows what she's doing.
That's so exciting.
Yes, and I've had a secret interest for dance for a while now, something that didn't really seem in character. So it was a little weird telling everyone like, hey, I'm going because I'm going to go take a dance class. They're like, what? What? Who are you? You know, but it's like, well, I've actually wanted to do it for a while.
That's so dope. I love that.
And she's worked with, like, Usher, Neo, like, Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, the Jonas Brothers. And I actually asked her, because we had a Q&A session at that choreography class.
Nice.
I was like, hey, like, who's been, like, your favorite celebrity to work with thus far? She said Justin Timberlake, the Jonas Brothers, and Justin Bieber.
Oh, my God. So cool. I would have loved to work with Justin Timberlake. Dang. I would just like to see him or be in the same room.
I just want to touch his face. Just want to pinch his butt. No, yeah, so she was super nice. And like I said, we were all beginners learning this really cool choreography she had, original choreography. And we ended up performing it at the very end. And if you follow me on socials, I did post it a few days ago. I might post it on my main feed because I only posted it in my stories, which disappears. But yeah, so I was obviously nervous, but it's just
you did so good.
Thank you. It was just something that you have to do, you know, like it's kind of like conquering your fears. And after I did that, I was like, whoa, like I did this and I made friends out of it, you know, like the things you can do.
I love that part.
The things that you can do when you just throw yourself out there and you're like, I don't give an F. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care if you don't see me as a
F.
dancer. I'm just gonna go do it, you know?
Yeah, fuck it.
Because I could have been seen. It could have been seen as really weird, like from my friends or from my family. Like, what? Since when have you like dance? You know? But some people don't know you at that deep of a level, like you know yourself.
Right.
So that's kind of why I did it, just to give myself a challenge, and I looked up to her, so that was super fun. That was the main part of the trip for me.
That is really, really cool. Oh, and then there was a hurricane while you were there. I saw that on the news. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell her.
Yeah. So I was like, of course, my first time in New York, there's going to be a freaking hurricane. But luckily, we just got a little bit of rain. We were in Manhattan, so we just got like a little bit of rain those 2 days.
Good.
I think it was like Friday, Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday that we got a little bit of rain. But it was beautiful though, like seeing New York in the rain. It was really
I was gonna
pretty.
say
I was like,
such a vibe.
This is a picture. And I know we like to romanticize New York a lot, and I honestly thought that when I got there, I'd be like, nah, never mind. I don't want to
totally
move here.
Overrated. Yeah.
But when I got there, I was like, you know what? To be honest, the first day I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not really what I expected. But then the second day, I like understood it. I was like, oh, like, okay, I get it now. Like, I get the vibes. I get the feeling of this place and why people want to stay here. Because when I left and I came home, I was like, I feel different. Like, I just want to go back.
I feel different. I'm a New Yorker.
I just want to go back. It felt more like, you know, I had visited LA for the same reason. I was like, I forgot when I visited LA, but I went for the same reason, where I was like yearning to move somewhere different. And I was like, is it LA? Is it New York? Like, where is it going to be? And I visited LA and I didn't feel anything for it. I was like, this is really cool. And I had a cool experience. I was on the Conan O'Brien show in the audience and stuff, as an audience member.
That's cool.
And that was like really fun. That was a cool experience. But I didn't feel the way I felt about New York. I was like, oh, this is the type of person that I am. Like, it's really artsy. We went to a lot of museums. There's just a shit ton of stuff to do. So while we were there, we were just doing everything we could with the time we had. And our feet were killing us. Well, mine was. My feet really freaking hurt, but it was worth it. We went to Central Park. We went to the Met. Yeah, roamed the city. We went to a couple of parks and stuff. So that was super nice. And I guess I'm planning on going back for sure. Don't know when, but I'm definitely going back. And now I know some people there because of my dance class. Most of them lived there. So yeah, that's been my past few days. I came back. That's awesome. Yeah, only a couple days ago we came back. So I'm still kind of recovering, like physically. My body's just like, please let me sleep. I'm tired. We walked a lot. One day, actually, it was like over 22,000 steps that we walked. Yeah.
And was there like a lot of things that were nearby, or did you feel like you really had to like walk a distance to get wherever it is that you wanted to go?
That's hard to say, because I can't tell if it was just my feet that were killing me and it felt like a long time, when really, like, my dance class was only 8 minutes away from our hotel, but it felt...
You're, like, exhausted.
Yeah, but my feet hurt so bad, it felt like triple that time. So, yeah. Also, this the kind of going one direction and like, oh, crap, we're supposed to go the other way sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, just, like, happening. Not knowing.
Yeah, so we were trying to get familiar with where we were, so we got lost a couple of times. And we were like hungry and we we're like, shit, we just want to go find this place to eat. So, yeah.
I've never been to New York. I definitely want to go at least
What would you want to do first?
Probably the museums. I feel like that would be the first thing I did. And then obviously food, because like, obviously. And then also shopping.
So many options. So many options. Just
and then
one road.
Central Park, just because you have to.
Also, Central Park is way bigger than I thought. For some reason, I thought it was like just half or 1/3 of its size than it actually is.
It's like huge. Yeah. Well, when I see it, it looks huge.
Right. I just never even imagined how big it was. Like, I don't know. And I saw the map and I was like, there was no way we're doing all this today. Nope. We went through like a little bit of trail, like a little bit in the beginning. And then we're like, all right, we got to go eat. I'm hungry.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, that was fun. But definitely when we go back, I want to spend more time in Central Park.
Yeah, that'll be so nice.
And go to more
Hopefully
museums.
There won't be a hurricane next time you're in town.
Yeah, there better not be.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So. Okay, so let's let's jump into what's the cue for today.
I'm ready. What's the cue, Alex?
The cue is, do straight women get turned on by guys' butts?
Do straight women get turned on by guys' butts? You know what? This is something that I've questioned myself because I'm like, do I actually find it attractive? Because I think what I'm mostly into is like some nice hands and some nice forearms. That's important.
Huh.
More than butt. What about you?
Yeah. You know what? I've never actually like checked out a guy's ass and been like, yeah. Like
Right? I
I've
don't think I have
never,
either.
I've never, never seen a guy's butt and been like, I like that. That's just never happened.
Yeah. Oh, tap that. I don't think I have either. Like
I
maybe it'll
wonder, like,
change as I get older. Like I don't know if, if there's a
I
specific
don't
age
know.
where you're like, okay, now I'm into this. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
I
I
don't
think
know.
right now
Maybe.
I've always been into hands. Like if you have nice hands, that is fabulous. And if you have nice forearms, like people with rolled up sleeves, that's the best to me. I don't know. Is there like a
Yeah.
weird thing that you're attracted to that you're like, it's not sexual. It's just like, oh, that's kind of hot.
A smile, eyes. Yeah.
Smize.
Like a little, like, yeah, like a little, like, just the way they, like, flirtatiously smile. Like, okay, you little cutie. I see you.
Oh, you like a little flirty face? That's
Yeah.
cute. That's cute.
Also, hands, too, for sure.
Yeah, why is it a thing for
Calves.
us?
I love a good calf, but not necessarily a butt. But maybe it's just, like, preference. Although I will say, like, I personally think out of all of the sports, like baseball players are the most attractive. And I wonder if it's because like most of them have nice butts. Like I wonder if that is a
Oh, well, they
contributing
do. They are
factor.
thick, right? Like their thighs are usually thick. Three
Yeah, they
C's.
are.
Also, is it like the uniform though? Like, what I guess that's
Yeah.
specifically the uniform you're attracted to. Because some people are like, ooh, firefighter, ooh, cop.
Like I just definitely cop uniforms don't do it for me. Like if
Me
you want to
neither.
scare me, a little show up in a cop uniform. I'll be like, oh shit.
Oh shit, what the fuck did I do?
Something's going on. I will not be turned on.
Oh my god. Shitting your pants. Oh my god. Traumatized. Yeah, no, I think I totally get the baseball outfit thing. I don't know. I get it. Like it's a cute outfit to have. It's
yeah,
nice.
It's okay.
You probably subconsciously attracted to butts then.
Maybe.
You just gotta accept it, Alex. Just take it in and accept it. You're a butt chick. You're an ass chick. Oh my god. Well, anyway, so yeah, that's our answer, guys. I am not really a butt girl. In fact, I'm into like skinny dudes. I've always been into like skinny guys, and if they're tall and skinny, cool. So usually skinny guys don't even have like
butts.
They don't have cake.
Cake.
So I guess I'm more into the hands and the forearms. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's where it is. That's where it's at. The hands and the forearms. So let's see. What is the next one? Bring us to the next. Right, what's the cue?
The next one. Does anyone ever think the universe is just a little dramatic?
Just a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That sounds so stupid. Like, posed this way, like, is it a little dramatic? But honestly, it fucking is.
It fucking is. It's like you have one. It's like, okay, this question is embodied into that one day that everything is going wrong, and you're like, of course this happens. Of course, I like spilled everything all over the floor, and then I tripped and fell and like broke my hip. Of course, this is all gonna happen in the same day because the universe.
And there's like some like crazy shit on the news, and like something else is going on, and
it's for like, sure. Jesus. I mean, just think of 2020. Hello, 2020 is literally that. Universe was hella dramatic in 2020.
So dramatic. So
oh
I mean,
my god.
I hate to like simplify like what a catastrophe last year was, especially because we've lost so many people. But I'm just so so much drama. The universe has been so dramatic. Like
Right.
everything.
And it's weird. Like,
Everything.
do you think it's like a traveling energy? Like, it's like, all right, if you have this bad energy here, it's just gonna, and you keep getting angry about it, your day's gonna get worse and worse, and things are gonna keep happening to you.
For sure.
Right? Like
if you're having a bad day, it's just,
mhm.
I feel like it's really hard to get it back up. It's all, I feel like it takes a lot of like mental work to really
It
turn
does.
your life around that day.
I know. And it's like, again, it's like the universe is like trying to attack you. Like, if you're having this bad energy, like, and you keep repeating it throughout the day, like, oh, I hate everything. Oh my God, this sucks. Oh my God, my life sucks. Whatever.
Yeah.
Bad things are going to keep happening to you.
For sure.
Because you're like putting it out there, and then you're going to receive the bad energy too.
Yeah.
So I feel like the universe is a little bit freaking savage. You know what I mean?
It totally does.
It's petty. The universe is petty. Period. Put that on a shirt. That'll be the title of my book. Don't get me wrong. I'm optimistic, but it's true. Like, the universe is hella dramatic when things are going wrong continuously. Especially
and I feel like it's been continuously wrong for a while. Like, not personally, but just like in general.
In the world.
In the world.
I think we're all feeling it too. We're all on the same page. Like, this is weird. Like, what's happening?
Oh my gosh, it's
what
just
is
too
going
much.
on? It's weird, and like, we have to live our normal lives and like try to do the things we wanted to do before the pandemic and before the crazy, the more and more the craziness the world
it
is
just
getting,
keeps spiraling, and it like things just keep occurring, and shit is just.
I know. I mean, it's like that meme. It's like, I'm tired of living through historical events. Like,
for real. For real.
It is exhausting. You're like, all right, that's another thing to write down in the books. And isn't it weird? Speaking about writing books, isn't it weird how we lived through 2020 and there's going to be books written about 2020 and we're like, yeah, we lived through that. Like, it's weird. Like, it's normal life now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be such a weird thing to look back on. And we're like, yeah, we were there. Like,
yeah.
It's like living through a movie. It's like, we have the masks.
That's exactly what's going on. We're living through a movie right now. Shit is just, who wrote this? Like,
who the fuck?
Cancel this writer.
And speaking of that,
all of our days,
the movie vibes.
Right now.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the movie vibes, when I was in the New York subway, it really felt like a movie because you see people there like sleeping with their masks on, and then you see like these advertisements on like, wash your hands or like keep your distance and 6 feet away, and it's like really weird. It's like you're watching a horror movie or you're like watching some eerie movie, and you're like seeing these people in the subway, you know, with all their masks on and stuff, and it's like, whoa, this is so surreal. It's weird.
It is. I bet. I mean, yeah, it is. Don't have to bet. I'm totally living it.
You're like, I'm living it. It's weird. It like, so the most we can do though is like just keep optimistic and just keep, obviously, like, try to keep safe as best as we can.
Yeah.
And push forward, but definitely universe is throwing a curveball at us, and it's like challenging us for sure.
I know. Honestly,
like, combat it by keeping positive thoughts.
Yeah, and if you are really feeling like, if any of you guys are like feeling the way we're feeling, sometimes what I do, and maybe it'll help you, I literally will not get on. Like, I won't get on the TV. Like, I won't watch news. I won't
the news
participate in conversations just because I need some space from like all the bullshit that's going on right now. So I just like, I need space. So don't be afraid. Get some space if you need space. Like, don't get on your social media. Don't get into those conversations. Turn off the TV and just remove yourself for as long as you need to just kind of like let you kind of settle.
Yeah, like, you have to
and get your energy back. Yeah.
Yes. And you know, the news can be so toxic, and yeah, you want to know what's going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of things that are going on, and there's a lot of things we can't control that we wish we could control, and then we're just thinking about all of the terrors that are happening and like all of the awful things that are happening. But truthfully, like, you have to take care of yourself first to make sure you have the energy to take care of other people.
Yeah.
If you're just sitting in the fact like, oh my God, the world is falling apart and there's all these things happening in these other countries, but you literally can't really do anything about it. At the same time, it's like accepting that, and it's hard because, you know, before the media was like a huge thing, we wouldn't know what's happening in other countries. And so and it's like I said, it's a good
We're
and bad thing,
exposed. Yeah, we're
because we're
exposed to all
exposed to all this stuff that
information.
we can't control. And it's like,
Yeah.
it tears our minds apart, because it's like, you want to help. Like, I mean, if you're any sort of decent person, like, you want to
Mhm.
go and help these people, but you really can't. All you can do is sit and watch at what's happening, truthfully.
Mhm.
And just turning it off and just accepting, like, okay, yes, like, be, first of all, be grateful for where you are and that you're alive. And just, if there's an issue that you actually really really want to help and care about, yeah, sure, do the research on how you can help. But you
Mhm.
cannot solve every single problem in the world.
Yeah.
And seeing it on the news, seeing every single problem in the world displayed on the news, is really intimidating.
For sure. For sure.
So
And
I
there's
definitely stay away from the news a lot because of that.
yeah.
It can be depressing.
Same. And it's just like you're constantly having to, even if it feels like a really negative, I mean, it's hard to not let that negativity kind of affect your day to day. So you just remind yourselves of the positives, I guess, and just
Yeah,
keep,
being grateful, at least, like, if you're
yeah,
able
keep
to watch
going.
the news, then you're in a very privileged situation.
Hmm.
Period. So, like, just being grateful for where you are, and just, like, kind of calming down the anxiety from what's
Hmm.
going on around you. Yeah, because just realize that you cannot control every single thing that's happening, and that's really the reality of it.
Yeah.
So
That
those
turned
were
heavy.
very interesting. I
Such
know.
a light question turned to a little heaviness, but
It's
it is what it is. Good.
true.
We talk about these things and
Yeah,
get
that's why
them
we
off our
get what's
shoulders.
yeah, that's why we talk about what's the cue in the beginning. It can go deep or it cannot go deep, and whatever.
Yeah.
But so the main topic we wanted to go into today was, let me see here.
Your
Basically the
fairy tale
fact,
partner doesn't exist.
yeah, basically the fact that a fairy tale partner doesn't exist, my friends. The fairy tale
They're not
partner
out
that we
there.
see in the movies and in the
Hmm.
shows, and it sounds so simple. You're like, well,
Hmm.
duh, your fairy tale partner doesn't exist. These princesses and princes don't actually exist.
Hmm.
But, there's a lot of us that, um, once we see these things and we're exposed to it when we're little, think about how we're exposed to these sort of ideal relationship standards when we're little kids, and
Right.
watching, like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be treated. Oh,
Hmm.
yes, like, I'm supposed to be on this pedestal.
Hmm.
And that's how it's going to work. And that's the man or woman of my dreams. It actually does affect us. Like, you might think,
Hmm.
oh, it's a movie, duh, it's stupid. But when you internalize that when you're a kid, when you're little, and then you grow up as an adult, and you still kind of have those expectations
Expectations. Yeah.
without you even knowing it,
Hmm.
that's when it can get, you need a little bit of reality hit in your face. And that's what we're here to
Yeah.
do today.
Exactly. We're here to hit you.
We're here to slap you in the face. So I don't know. First of all, I guess, to get into it a little bit, um, I'm actually gonna mention first that it's important to get clear on, when you're looking for someone to date, when you're looking for a relationship, it's so important to not look at someone as your other half.
Hmm.
Um, because you technically shouldn't be looking at someone to fulfill you. Like, you're
Hmm.
supposed to be one whole person, ideally.
Hmm.
You should be one whole person with your life and your experiences and what you can offer to a
Right.
relationship, and be your own strong person. We actually touched up on this a little
Yeah.
bit in the last
Yeah. Just a
episode
bit.
with
Hmm.
the Men Don't Do This. If you have not listened to it, go and listen to it after this episode.
Listen to it. Yeah.
Um, it's not about having another person to fulfill your needs. It's about being like a team. Like, you're thinking of, hey, I want this other cool, awesome team member, teammate in my life that's going to
Hmm.
motivate me, and I'm going to motivate them, and, like, we're going to support each other. And that's how it's going to work. It's a
Right. Right.
mutual decision to be supportive, instead of, oh, well, I need you because I'm not happy without you.
Hmm.
I think that's where we get a little mixed up in the messaging of when we're
Hmm.
looking for someone. What would you
Yeah.
what would you
Or
say?
yeah, for sure. I feel like when you start dating, well, if I think this happens a lot when you're younger before perspective kind of comes into play and before you've gotten your little heart crushed because you go out there with high expectations or even if
Mhm.
you just kind of aren't how do I say, like, you're still not grasping the concept that, like, the the little perfect checklist that you made of what your perfect partner looks like,
Mm-hmm.
um that it may be opposites, like, oh, because I'm not this thing, then he has to be this opposite version of me, or the exact same thing, and if he doesn't match these, then it's like
Mm-hmm.
he's not for me or she's not for me. And it's not
Yeah.
really, it's not black and white. It's not really like that, or at least it shouldn't be. That's not how it really works, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion.
No, I mean, I agree. Like, if you think that, oh my gosh, if they're not into this, I mean, this is like the shallow part of it, right? But it's like, oh, well, if they don't like this type of music, or if they don't like this style of whatever, then there's no way we have anything to talk about. Like,
Yeah,
you should be a
yeah.
little more open minded than that if
Mm-hmm.
you're actually looking for a deep connection with someone,
Mm-hmm.
because you can, and we do recommend, I guess, we do recommend just kind of making a little list in your mind of, you know what, this is the type of person I do like to hang around, and the energy I like to hang around,
Mm-hmm.
their values, like that's important.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone's values is the core of a person. Like, you
Or
need to pay
right,
attention to other
right,
people's values. But if you
right.
have a little checklist, like that's real shallow, and it's like, well, she
Yeah,
has to
that's what
have
I mean.
this, and she has to be this height. Oh, you know what? That is an interesting point. I I forget that girls are so into height.
Yes, girls are so
Oh
into
my
height. Like,
god.
I will not date a guy that's under 6 feet. Like, will not do it. Can't do it. Like, okay, come on, shut up. It's fine. They're fine.
Dude,
Like,
it's like that sort of stuff that pisses me off. Like, they cannot choose their height. Like, if you're looking for a
yes.
lifetime partner because they're 6 feet, and you're like, well,
And I
you must be
mean,
the one because you're 6 feet and you have nice
right,
hair.
right. And it's important for
Come
you to be
on.
attracted to your partner,
Yes.
but also that's not the only thing that matters. Like, I've known people where their checklist is just like, I mean, by all means, definitely, and my suggestion, make a checklist. Like, make a checklist of what your future partner, and I've said this before, like, of what you want your future partner to have, like all of their personality traits, all of their, the things that make them them, like, I
Mhm.
really want a partner that's funny. I really want a partner that is kind. I really want a partner that's outgoing. Like, make all those, someone that's sure of themselves,
Yeah.
and vice versa, he and she, like, if you're making a list for him or her,
Mhm.
whatever. But then there's also those checklists where it's so superficial. Like, he has to be a certain race, he has to be a certain height. I want him to have this specific job or make X amount of money.
Mhm.
Um, no kids, no this, no that, and it's all just
Mhm.
like superficial. Like, that's not
Definitely superficial.
that's not real. You're going to be looking your whole life because
Yeah, you're not
that's
gonna find
that's
that
not
perfect
real.
person,
You're
dude.
not going to, and if you do, there's no there's a chance that that person is not going to actually click with who you are, because you may not have any of those things, and doesn't mean that you'll actually click emotionally and in all the ways that matter. So
True.
that's been my experience. So it's just, it's
If you're too
wild, yeah.
superficial, there's no point in looking because you're like, okay, well, what are you gonna do beyond that?
Mm-hmm. But still,
Like,
people will do it. Like, they know
mm-hmm.
it's superficial, but they're just like, oh, I'm definitely gonna find this man. And it's like, no.
And it's like that's
And
what we're
you
saying.
do
It's
doesn't.
like, why
Yeah.
are you? Yeah, like if you're gonna make a long list, make it a list of their values that you want them to have,
Mm-hmm.
not a list of
Exactly.
their
Things that
physical traits.
matter. Right.
Things that
And
literally matter. Like, no, like, guys, and be careful because there's so many psychos out there that will have all of your physical traits, but guess what? They're psycho.
mm-hmm.
And maybe you won't find that out in the very beginning of a relationship, because that's actually the next point we were going to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
is like when you get into a relationship with someone, or like you start dating, they're putting on a show, guys. Like, they're putting
Yeah.
on a show for you.
That's their best
Well, I
selves.
mean, depending on, like I'm saying, if it's a superficial type of person, um or dating situation, it's all about, they're getting an end goal here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're just trying to, they may not be serious about a relationship, they're just trying to get you in bed, or they're just trying to, I don't know, some people are scammers, honestly. You have to be careful for
Mm-hmm.
scammers too. But having that superficial look on things is never going to work out, because not knowing the person within and not giving it enough time, that's just, I don't know, that's just a recipe for disaster. Because these people in the beginning, like let's say you're dating for like a month, you still don't know that person. They are still trying to attract you, and they're trying really hard. And there's the trying really hard because they care about you, but then there's the types that are trying really hard because they're trying to get something out of you. And if you've been in that situation, you know what I'm talking about. They were like, they might ghost you right after you have sex with them or something, and you're like, oh, that's what it was all about this whole time. They were just trying to get me in bed, and that's it. Like, you're not on the same page. In where you want to go with your relationship. Is it a relationship thing, or are you just literally trying to like bang me? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And now, if you do find someone who meets your values, and you seem to be on the same page, and you think, all right, like this guy could be the one. I think you're thinking about marriage. Or this girl could be the one for me. And you're starting to think way ahead of yourself. That can be a really dangerous thing. Again, because if you've been dating, even if you think they're the one, if it's been like less than a year, even less than 2 years, I'm gonna still say you don't know that person.
Right.
And I don't know, Alex, do you have anything like any
Yeah, I mean,
comments on it?
Yeah, I do also want to say, like, sometimes, and I'm speaking from experience because my husband and I, well, we were friends for a really long time.
Which to me makes the difference if you were friends.
Yeah. We were friends for a really long time. And then, you know, at some point it was like 8 years or something like that into our friendship. And we both just happened to have been single at the same time. And we both realized we were both interested in each other and just took the shot. And we were dating for like, honestly, 4 months before we were like, yeah, this is everything that I've wanted and everything I've been looking for. And we jumped the gun. Like, there was no hesitation, because on the flip side, like, if they do match all of those values that you have, and they're not just stereotypical, and they're not just materialistic and think, you know what I mean? Not so, you know, if they're more deep and you connect on a deeper level, sometimes, you know, like sometimes it doesn't have to be a lot of work, and you just know that this is the person you want to write it out with regardless. Then, you know, when you know, you know. And I do stand by that too on the flip side. But, you know, there's still going to be things that you're going to discover about one another.
For sure.
Yeah. So
it's all a learning experience with them.
It
like
really is. And I hope I never stop learning new things about him. And I feel like
it keeps things like exciting. It keeps it like, okay.
I hope I'm still discovering new things about him 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Like,
yeah,
I mean, we're just,
so
in general,
or that
we're
you learn
always
things
changing.
together.
Yes, exactly.
About the world, I don't know, about something else. But and that brings me to another point. And yeah, you do have a good point. Like, if you do feel like it is right, and let's say you do want to like jump into marriage, because I actually made a tweet earlier today that reminded me of this topic. And I was basically just saying, why are you rushing marriage if you don't know this person? Why are you rushing marriage just to like, what are you doing it for? Like, are you getting married because you're trying to show off to your family because of family pressure? Or are you actually getting married because you legitimately know this person and you love this person to the core through the hard times? Because it's
tricky.
You're going to evolve. It's tricky. You're going to evolve with this person. You're going to be in a different place, you know, every day. You're going to be a different person in some sense. And you can choose to grow with them, or, you know, maybe you might grow apart, right? But you have to realize when you're going into a relationship long term, whether it's marriage or you're just living together, it's not like a romance novel, guys. Like,
it's really not.
Come on, like, you know, it's gonna be all fun and games.
It's different. Like, it is a fairy tale, but it's different. It's not what you see in a movie, and it's not by like definition, like quote what a fairy tale is. It's your version.
Yeah.
It's what makes it perfect, and
Hmm.
it's
It's
just it's not textbook fairy tale. You know what I mean?
exactly. Like there is no, and that's kind of the whole point we're trying to make here is like there is no perfect relationship. There is no perfect person.
Mhm.
Everyone
Mhm.
comes with like flaws, and you learn and grow with this person. And it's
Mhm.
not. And I actually found this quote, which kind of like makes the point as well. And it says, "So many times I hear women who are upset because their husbands don't act like the men in the movies or in romance novels. There are no passionate kisses at 6 a.m. or bouquets of roses on a random Tuesday. There are no jets to Aruba on a whim or
Mhm.
couture gowns. There are no carriage rides, blah, blah, blah. And thus we feel like our marriage is flawed. It doesn't mean the standards were taught from a young age.
Yeah.
So, like, exactly like what I was saying, when you're
Yeah.
young, you're impressionable and you're like, oh, this is what love is
Mhm.
supposed to look like. Like, he's going to give
Mhm.
me flowers on like a random day. And that might happen, sure. Like, yes,
Mhm.
random acts of kindness are like healthy for a relationship. And
For
that's
sure.
always a good sign.
Mhm.
But it's you never expect it from somebody as well. Like you
Right.
don't
Right.
always expect he's gonna be this perfect person. He's gonna give me roses, like, and we're gonna go out
Mhm.
on dates every single, like, I don't know, Friday
Yeah.
without any hesitation. He's just gonna love me and take me to the fanciest place. Like,
Yeah. It's
and
not
I'm
real.
not saying to lower, I'm not saying to like lower your
Yeah.
expectations, guys.
Eh,
Like, no, keep your expectations good, like high, and for you, like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is you also have to be realistic in your approach to a relationship because
Mhm.
expecting so much out of somebody is hard because like I
Yeah.
said, they are a person. They're not your person. They are a person, if
Right.
you know what
And
I'm
let's
saying.
say
You
you
don't
do
own
have
this
one of
person.
those, right? And let's say you have like one of these superficial lists and you actually find this person, and by golly, you're also their person, and you end up marrying this person,
Mhm.
you're still gonna have hard times. Like, it is not by any means not gonna be a fairy tale regardless. They may
Mhm.
look the part, they may act the part. Regardless, it is going to be work. Like, shit is going to die down eventually. It's not gonna be all romance. It's not gonna be like the movies. Like,
Mhm.
that's not real life. But you choose to do it. Like, you make a choice to
Yeah,
love
it's
that
a
person.
choice.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what makes the true relationship. That's what true love actually is. It's unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you love somebody so much, like they're literally your flesh, like they feel like they're your blood, like they're
Mm-hmm.
family to you. They're just not,
They're your person. Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like they're that close. And
Mm-hmm.
you feel that strongly about them and not in a weird possessive way, but just like a, oh my God, I care for you so much
Mm-hmm.
that whatever you're going through, I'm here to support you.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of unconditional love, like that is what's going to take you to the next level in a relationship.
Yeah.
Not the
It's not the
superficial, oh, he
flowers.
brought me roses, oh, he calls me
Yeah.
beautiful, he calls me every morning and says that I'm beautiful, and so he must be the one.
Yeah, he's
No,
nice to
guys.
me.
Oh, the nice guy thing.
Yes.
Which I'm glad you brought that up because yes, and we've all heard those stories of the people who
Mm-hmm.
they get swooned. If you get swooned easily, I mean, I'm sorry, but like you have to have a hit of reality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you that if you're being swooned that easily by someone, then there's a high chance that you can get into a really really dangerous relationship with somebody just because they're telling you what
Mm-hmm.
you want to hear.
Yeah.
And you need to pay attention to that. Are they
And
just telling me things I want to hear, or do they actually mean what they're saying? If they're putting on
and
a show for
honestly,
you, be
yeah,
careful.
and honestly, like 9 times out of 10, like they're like that person who is just like, if they do like one nice thing or they give them just a little, like just bare minimum, and like that's it, like I'm swooped up and this is
Oh my
forever.
God, yes.
Like, you're also more likely to be ignoring like the red flags that are just
Yo,
being
for sure.
thrown right at your face because
And
you
by the
are
way,
so ready to like settle down and get married, or just like have somebody there and have
yeah, you're
like
rushing.
marriage.
You're
And
rushing, homie. You're
yeah.
rushing. Listen to your friends as well, because I know they're telling you stuff. If
Mhm.
you're in a bad relationship, usually our friends, if they're real, real friends, if
Mhm.
they're genuine friends, they might want to have a chat with you and be like, hey, I don't know about this person. You know, they might be
Right.
picking stuff up that you're not, and you need to listen to your family and your friends, because I know what people do. I know what people do. I know you're
Mhm.
going to be all in La La Land and you're going to be like, what are you talking about? Like,
Mhm.
what do you mean? Like, we're planning our wedding already. Like, what do you mean? You're going to be so blinded by that shit that you're not going to listen to anyone around you, and you can
Mhm.
potentially just mess up your life. And we're trying to prevent that here. Like, we're really trying to prevent that. And I'm talking from not my own life experience. I learned this from people that I've been around, from family that I've
Mhm.
been around. It is brutal. It can be brutal, and
Mhm.
we don't want you to end up that way. We don't want you to end
Yeah.
up that way in that sort of situation, which is why we're talking about these fairy tale ideas of what relationships are. They don't exist, and there is no perfect person or perfect relationship that you're gonna be
Find.
married and you're
Right.
just gonna blissful every single day. Like, no. And especially if you have kids, that's another challenge. You know, kids, obviously they can be a blessing, and you can work through it just fine,
Mhm.
but the key word here is work.
Yeah, for sure.
Have to work
Yeah.
through it, and you have
Mhm.
to be patient. If And I said this earlier also on my Twitter, I was like, if you can spend 2 years with someone, really get to know them,
Mhm.
and there's no issue, like, hey, you were patient with me, and now I'm ready to like settle down. Maybe we can actually get married now. I know you as a person, and I'm
Mhm.
confident now.
Yeah.
That sounds like a healthier version than me not wanting to wait, um,
And
not
ignoring
even
red
2 years,
flags.
ignoring red
Yeah.
flags, and also just not waiting to get to put a ring on it. Like,
Mhm.
assuming, this is just me personally. Like, I know Alex, you were friends with your husband
Yeah,
before he
yeah,
was your
yeah.
husband,
Mhm.
so I assume that connection was already there. But if you're
Mhm.
someone who's talking to a stranger, essentially,
Yeah.
you really have to get to know them. And if
Mhm.
they don't want to give the patience, like, if they want to propose too early and you're like, no, let's just like wait a couple years, but they don't want to do that, what is their rush? And
Mhm.
you too, if you're the one rushing and they're like, no, let's wait a couple of years and see how it works out, that doesn't mean they're like trying to cheat on you or something, and like, no, 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 or iffy about it. They can just literally just they're trying to get to know you. Marriage is a big deal.
Marriage is a big deal.
Because I feel like people might get scared of the idea that someone is like, oh, well, he doesn't want to marry me immediately. She doesn't want to marry me immediately. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there could be nothing wrong. In fact, that could be like the best thing ever. Like, waiting.
Mhm. For
Like,
sure.
just be patient. But what is your rush? Like, seriously,
Right.
you're
Right.
clearly trying to show off to somebody if you're rushing, because marriage should not be about, well, my friend got married, so now I have to.
Mhm.
No, no.
Right.
I'm going to slap you if you think
I'm
that.
gonna
Um,
slap you.
so that, yeah, that's the main point we're trying to make here, because I think it's super important. It really is an important topic.
Mhm.
Because like I said, in my family, I've seen it
Mhm.
many times where it goes not so good.
Mhm.
Um, but we learn from these things. We learn from these experiences, and that's the beautiful part, at least, that we
Yeah,
can all learn
that's
from each other.
yeah, definitely if you're learning from your experiences, that's key
Yeah, and
to
if you mess up,
finding the next
exactly,
best person, you know what I mean?
exactly. Don't be scared of the next relationship just because this one effed up and was
Mhm.
messed up. Don't
Right.
don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to trust people after that,
Mhm.
because then don't give that person that power. You know what I mean? Don't give that person that power who might have been the cause of your breakup to be like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't trust anyone anymore and they ruined my life. Because then you're giving them the power, but you want to retain your power as a person, to be
Yeah, for
like, oh,
sure.
no, I have the power to move on. I can get over you. I can move on to something better, you know?
Right. And then there's like the other part where it's like I said, like you're in this relationship and you found somebody that you love and you care about each other and things are just like not as they used to be. I mean, yeah, there are certain things that are still important. And if they are really important to you, even if they're small, like getting me flowers every Tuesday or every other
Yeah.
Tuesday or kissing me before you go to work or things like that. If
Hmm.
they actually make a difference in your day, and the fact that they've stopped doing that has kind of like brought say that, like your
Oh
person
my
will
God,
be like,
communication.
oh
Yes.
yeah, your person will be like, you're right, like if that makes you feel that good, they're gonna want to do that. Like that's
Exactly. If they
you know what I
don't,
mean?
then there's something wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Then in which case maybe you guys can like talk about it.
Yeah,
But
please talk. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like, there's
mhm,
so many people out there who don't,
mhm,
like, and,
communicate.
and I get it. It's hard to communicate when you don't even know what's wrong. Like,
Mhm.
I get that. But just trying to communicate is the important part.
Right.
Trying to get out those feelings. And I know we had mentioned this before, but writing it down if you don't feel comfortable talking about what's wrong is a good step first.
Mhm.
But you really need to face the person that, especially if you're married, this is the person that you were married to. Like,
Yeah.
if it's going to end in divorce, then you have to accept that maybe something's not right here. Don't accept your fate, and don't be like, well, I guess I'm just stuck with this person
Yeah.
either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't obviously things can be fixed, things can be repaired if you talk
But at some
about it, if
point,
you talk it
if you
through,
feel
but some
like
things can't be
yeah, some
fixed.
things can, yeah.
Some things really cannot be fixed, and you know that in your heart. Like,
Mhm.
in your gut when something's wrong,
Yeah, you
and
do.
it's maybe something where it's like, I don't think we can turn back from this.
Mhm.
That's when you know. Like, we don't like to listen to our instincts. Like, we have to start
Mhm.
listening to our instincts.
For sure.
And it's like, you know, if you're approaching divorce or something, and you accept that and you know that it's coming, but you have the strength to go through it and accept that, instead of, like I said, staying with someone who's making you miserable
Mhm.
just because, let's say, you have kids and you don't want to make it worse for them. Let me tell you, as a kid from someone with divorced parents, it's much better if you get divorced
Yeah,
if you're not happy.
honestly, same, same.
Your child is not going to be happy if you're not happy, period.
Mhm.
um and if you're like, oh, well, I don't know, it's bad for
Yeah.
the
Some people
child
just
if
aren't
you
meant to be
separate.
together, and some
You
people really
have
do bring out the worst in you, and that can really
mm,
leave lasting effects on if you have children and they witness that. And I mean, it really does. And same as you, I'm coming from
mm-hmm,
parents who aren't together and who had, you know, a terrible relationship, and those
mm-hmm,
witnessing that definitely leaves, I mean, it leaves trauma behind for sure.
for sure.
And so don't stay for the kids. If anything, be happy for the kids. And if being happy means being without your significant other and moving on, then by all means, that's what you should do. Your
Yes.
happiness should for sure be priority, I feel like.
Oh my God. Preach. Yes, it
Mm-hmm.
should be. And I feel like also, as we were saying about keeping relationships realistic, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
fairy tale. Let's keep it real. Pay attention to how this person is, not only like how they're treating you, but how you are when you're around them.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Because, like you said, if they're bringing out the worst in you, obviously red flag. Well, it's obvious to
Mm-hmm.
us if we're seeing it from the outside. If you're in it,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to realize that it's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But making sure that you're paying attention to how you are around this person. Are they bringing out the best in you? Are they pushing
Right.
you to be better? Or are they
Right.
pushing you to be perfect?
Mm-hmm.
Very
And
different.
and
And same thing for you
everybody
if you're doing the same to someone else.
right. And everybody is flawed. Like you just have to accept that people are flawed no matter what you may envision or
We
whatever
are
you
all
may
flawed.
think.
Yes.
Yeah, we all have baggage, we all have shit. You know, it's just about finding somebody to kind of grow
Who's going to
with,
work out
and
life with you.
yeah, exactly, who wants to
Life in
go
itself.
through that with
It's
you.
going back to the other topic. The universe is hella dramatic.
Hmm.
The universe is going to throw curveballs in your face. And it's the both of you that's going to have to work around that together as a team.
Hmm.
Two strong individuals coming together and say, like, okay, you know what? let's power through this. Like if you're having financial problems, if you're in a shit ton of debt, if you're bankrupt, like
Mm-hmm.
that is a big challenge.
Yeah. A
And
lot
if
of
you can make it through that,
unfairytale things happen in life.
very much,
Like
yes.
life is not a fairy tale by any means. And so a lot
It's not
of
a fairy tale. And I
things are
know
going
a
to
lot of
happen.
you for sure. And I know a lot of you know this.
Mm-hmm.
We're just reminding you, like keeping it real.
Yeah.
Hello,
Keep it
wake
real with
up. If
yourself
you're
and your
looking for someone
expectations.
who's yes, keep it real. No one there's not going to be this perfect person out there for you. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to have flaws and you can choose to accept that person. Also, you can't go into a relationship trying to fix somebody, which I see
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
You cannot fix somebody. They can only
Yeah.
fix themselves if they want to. So
Right.
if you're
Right.
seeing something, you're like, oh, no, I can fix that. No, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
No, you
Mm-hmm.
can't. You can fix
Yeah.
that. And if you're going into a relationship saying, oh, well, he's great, except for this one huge thing that pisses me off that I think I can like fix, then no,
No. Let him fix
no.
it if he
I
wants
would
to,
be like,
or she.
uh-uh. Unless you
Yeah.
can bring it up to this person and be like, hey, this isn't like I don't really like the way you do this or something something something.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're okay with the way they do it, either you can choose to accept that or you're like, well, it's a big enough reason for you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two options. You either accept it or you leave because if they don't want to change it, who is going to change it for them?
Honestly.
You're
What?
not in control of their mind.
Yeah. If
I don't know what
whatever.
makes us think we can mind control people.
Yeah. And if like whatever it is that they're doing wrong or whatever characteristic they have that you don't like, if it's really not an issue, then the
Hmm.
next person that they date is going to value it and they'll be fine. If that person just wasn't for you. You
Exactly.
can't.
Just think of it that way. No, they just weren't for
Yeah.
me. It's not a me issue. It's not a them issue. We just
Hmm.
weren't really meant to
For
be, I
yeah,
guess. We
exactly.
just weren't, we didn't have the same values or
Hmm.
whatever.
Right.
And that's how you have to look at it because so many people try. And that is the biggest thing I see, actually. That
Hmm.
is a huge thing. People go, they try to get into relationships just thinking that just because they're like this, well, when we're married, it'll change.
Hmm.
Oh
When
my
we
God.
have kids, it'll
Oh
change.
my God. No.
I know.
Please stop doing this. Please, like, for the sake of the children and
For
your
the
mental
sake of
health,
for the
for
sake
the
of
sake of
you.
the children, for the sake of the world. Look, the world, we want happy people in this world, okay? And the only way that we can live in a happy world is if you take care of yourself and not try to go around changing people. In
Hmm.
fact, if you're one of those people who try to go and change people, you got to take a look at yourself and maybe change yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
And that's just the truth bomb. Truth bomb.
Right.
So yes, that's honestly that was a lot, but it's a
It
really
was.
interesting topic for me and I actually care a lot about relationships
Me
again
too.
because my family's on both ends. I
Hmm.
see so much bad. I see so many bad things that I really like to help people at least think about the good things that they can
Hmm.
work on or
Right.
achieve in a relationship because it's possible. I am proud to say I'm in a really happy relationship, a healthy one. We're like
Hmm.
a team.
Hmm.
And I just like to take that experience and just show people it is possible
Hmm.
and it's achievable to do this as long as you're listening to what's going on and you're listening to
Hmm.
yourself. Of course we've had talks. We've had talks about, I don't know about this. I don't really like the way this happened or like, something that irks you a little bit. You have to talk about it. And I'm a huge proponent of communication
Hmm.
and that's just how you
I
have to
know.
work through things.
The key is finding somebody who wants to grow with you.
Exactly.
Um, because so oftentimes people grow apart. Either one is going one
Mm,
direction, the other person just can't support or can't grow as well. And there's
yeah.
so many ways a relationship can go wrong. But
Mhm.
with consistency and work and with love and dedication and you
Take it
know
one day at a time.
yeah,
Also,
exactly. If this
that's
is
what
your
I've always
person,
done.
yeah, if this
Yeah.
is your person, you will figure it out. If it's not your person, that's all right. There's always the next one. And
Exactly. I'm
yeah.
I'm always just thinking of this day, like thinking in
Mhm.
the present. Okay, well, everything was great today and we were
Mhm.
like everything's fine.
Mhm.
But you take it day by day and you don't have all these expectations of, well, if he doesn't ask me to marry him by
Mhm.
like next
Mhm.
year, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah, I
about
don't
it.
know what
Yeah,
I'm going
just
to do.
take it day by day. Stop thinking so much ahead. You
Right,
cannot
right.
control like what's going to happen tomorrow. You
Mhm.
have to live in the moment. That's just facts. We have no choice but to live in the moment.
Right.
So thinking too far ahead will trap you mentally because then you're going to be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, you're expecting all this and then when it doesn't happen, oh my god, the world's falling apart."
Mhm.
But you have to
Also,
take it day by day in your
right.
relationships to build it up, you know?
Yeah,
Build the strength.
exactly. And also, even if you have found somebody that meets all of your checklist, unfortunately, like that doesn't always mean that they are the person for you. Like it could just not it could just really not work. Like your personalities may not click. Your
Mhm.
interests may not click. Like they may not think you're the love of their life. And I mean, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you meet like a perfect, for instance, you meet a perfect man on paper, but he doesn't make you feel anything. He doesn't, make you want to be with him forever. Like sometimes that does happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes what's good
Yeah.
on paper isn't good for the soul, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to walk away from those people and let them
Yeah,
find their
because
person and you find yours.
yes, yeah, because, and like I said, every day we are a different person and we're a
Mm-hmm.
different version of ourselves every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So taking it day by day and just seeing, okay, like it was like, I was fine today. He was fine today.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, let's hope it's the same and like we all vibe together and we're happy,
Yeah.
and maybe it's not always going to be that way, but if you build your strength as a couple together,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a better way to look at it. Think you can be optimistic. You're not going to be like, oh well, we might break up tomorrow, and I don't know, like not like that. You
Yeah.
stay optimistic, but like I said, optimistic and realistic in your ways of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll just kind of help you go with the flow a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't having expectations can be the worst thing ever, for somebody because, like I said, if these expectations aren't met,
Mm-hmm.
then you can feel like everything's falling apart or
Mm-hmm.
something,
And
and
you could
just don't do
pass
that
up
to
someone
yourself.
really, really awesome
Hmm.
because they don't meet, you know, some of the things that are on your checklist.
For
So,
sure. And Alex, do you know what's on my checklist?
what is it?
That these last 10 minutes we're gonna do food for thought.
Yes, food for thought. I love this part. Um,
So now that we've gotten this main wisdom session out of our brains, out of our
I hope it
souls,
was helpful.
we hope it was
I
helpful.
hope you
Yeah,
felt
I
it. I hope
truly
you
enjoyed
vibed with
talking about
it.
it.
I know.
Yeah, I truly enjoyed talking about it. And not because I think, oh, we know everything.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we're saying. And
Experience.
no, I don't know everything. Oh my God. No,
Mm-hmm.
far from it.
Yeah.
But just out of what I can give you is my personal experiences
Mm-hmm.
and what works
And
for
if you
me.
relate, you relate. If it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're here to share our stories, our wisdom from our life experiences, and we want to see, what resonates, and we
Yeah,
hope we can help somebody out there. That's really
for
the goal.
sure.
And so these
For
last
sure.
10 minutes,
Food for
oh
thought.
boy, maybe not
So
even 10
this
minutes.
food for thought
Last
is totally we always do this. We always get into like a really deep conversation and then the
about the
food for thought
randomest
is like
things.
completely left field.
I know.
So actually for today's food for thought is completely left field.
Oh, let's do
Um,
it.
eels. Has anybody heard about how
Eels.
eels reproduce? I saw this and I shared it with you, Brie, because I was like
Hmm.
so fascinated. Like I never think about eels
I
except
forgot they existed, literally.
except when I eat sushi. That's fucked up to say, but that's when I think
Oh,
about
no.
them. I never otherwise don't think about. 'Em. Like, oh, eel sauce,
I
please. Oh, a
dude, I
little
forget eels
eel on my
existed.
sushi.
I
Don't
mean,
mind if
respect
you
to the
do.
eels. Yeah,
Yeah,
respect to the eels, but I totally forgot that they were even chilling out in the ocean.
yeah. They
So what
live
is this
there.
mystery? The
Okay.
mystery of the eels.
So I
What's
hope I
happening?
don't I hope I don't fuck this up too much because I'm like paraphrasing here and I'm by no means like a scholar of.
Are you sure you're not a scientist, Alex?
I'm not a scientist.
You sure?
Okay, so eels. So they've been trying to study how eels reproduce, because if people have done this, scientists have looked into it and done some research. When they open up an eel, there are no reproductive organs. There's on any eel, no reproductive organs, none.
Crazy.
In fact, they can put a female eel, a male eel in a aquarium together, and they will not do the deed. They don't do it. They don't. There's no eggs. Weird. There's no baby eels ever.
So
but they
don't reproduce. Where do they come from?
Right. But but get this. But they do have like different. Hang on to your chairs, folks. So they do age, like, they have like different, like, what am I trying to say? Like, they have like different phases they go through, like in life, like, like humans do, we go through our phases.
Our phases.
In maturing, our phases, but like in maturing. And when they get to a certain point in life, they go from freshwater eels to salt water. And that's like
fresh to salt.
Yes, it's like so rare that, I don't know if any other fish can do this, or I don't think that they can. I think you're either a freshwater or you're a saltwater, and that's it. And when you try to jump ship, it ain't good.
Secrets hiding.
Right. So then all eels everywhere in the world, once they get to the certain phase, they all swim from their freshwater, quarters into salt water, and they all swim to the Bermuda fucking Triangle, bro.
Oh,
and when they come back, there are a shit ton of baby eels.
Oh my God.
Shit ton.
I cannot even imagine.
What goes on in there?
Where are the cameras down there in the Bermuda? Give me the footage. I want to go.
Not going. You're not going.
Okay, well, I'm not personally.
You're going to get lost.
No,
You're never coming back.
Going. I'm never coming back if that happens.
You know what happens.
But literally, some scientist needs to go out there and with a deep ass. I don't know how far they are. They're not that far down in the ocean. We can see them. No,
I don't know.
I don't know how deep. They're not that far deep. I don't know. Anyways, if someone was to like put a camera down there right when they swim to the Bermuda, like, I want to see what's happening. How are they just replicating themselves? Are they just what? They're like a portal?
Maybe no eggs.
They're to the portal in the Bermuda.
Yeah. No reproductive organs. What happens there?
Oh my God. Something I never knew. Like, this is just crazy. Didn't think about eels ever until recently. And it's just mind-blowing. Really, the Bermuda? Like, it's insane. It's insane. What if they are the answer to the universe?
Bermuda Triangle?
What if the eels have all the answers?
The secret to life, the mystery of life.
The fathers of this earth.
The fathers of this earth. Something suspicious going on over there. That's for sure. Why the Bermuda Triangle? That's so weird.
Oh my God.
They're aliens.
Guys, if you have any theories, please, they gotta be
share aliens. Them. Tell me more. If I'm missing something, if I misspoke,
you're a scientist.
Please tell me.
Please tell us.
If this mystery has been solved, I need to know.
Oh, serious food for thought. Mm-hmm. Like, I hope we give you nightmares about eels for days, and I hope you're thinking about how the hell are they reproducing if they're not actually reproducing.
And no one has seen it happen.
No one has seen it.
Scientists, people. Scientists.
We need to call up the scientists.
What's going on down there?
We need to call up the scientists.
Eels,
they need to go to the Bermuda, like today.
I don't know if I should eat another eel, to be honest. Oh. Maybe I should be eating more eel. Maybe I'm taking in its power.
Well, I shouldn't be saying that. I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh. It's they gotta have some sort of magical power.
Maybe.
Isn't it? Sea creatures are like scary.
Yeah.
They scare me.
They've seen some shit for sure.
Dude. They've seen some shit.
They've seen some shit for sure, without a doubt.
The ocean terrifies me. It just does.
I know.
Way more than like space. And the space is huge.
I can't fucking go to space. I'd be terrified, but I would go to space though.
Right.
But I'd be terrified the
I'd
whole
be
fucking time.
terrified
Just
too.
like I
I'm
would
more.
be if I was like going underwater. I'd be fucking terrified. It's just so dark. Like, what's out there?
It is. I know. There's monsters down there.
It's just
Like
like
I just know there
nothing
is.
for all of time. Like just space, nothing at all.
Like, have you just seen some of the creatures that live down there? They're terrifying. They're literal
Terrifying.
monsters.
And they just
They're
get
literal
bigger.
monsters.
No fucking thanks. I'm not even gonna get in the lake, to be honest.
Oh no. Ew, the slime.
The
Oh
eels.
no. The eels. Oh hell no.
Fuck
Yeah,
them eels,
water.
man.
Honestly, water scares me. Like if I go to the beach, I'm just scared. I'm like, oh my god, jellyfish. Oh my god, they're gonna sting me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Yes.
It's always the worst when like the seaweed touches your leg.
I'm gonna throw up. That's what I feel like.
I literally scream and I run out of the water. I'm like, oh my god.
I don't care if I look like a big puss. I'm terrified.
Rightfully so, though. I hate when people act all chill and they're like, hey,
Oh my
yeah, we're just hanging out over here in the
gosh.
deep end of the ocean. I'm like, what do you mean?
I won't even
What do you
go
mean you're
knees
chill?
like past my knees. I'm like, won't do it. I've seen movies.
We've seen what happens. It's clearly factual. Oh, but anyways, guys, we really hope we gave you a little mind blow there at the end,
for sure.
because I'm definitely mind blown, and the eels are they clearly have a secret. Okay, and they might be the answers to the universe, and we will never know.
Yeah,
Not
so
in our
keep that in
lifetime,
mind.
probably.
Keep that in
Keep it in
mind.
mind. Think about it. Go study eels.
Yeah. Hey, if you
anyone
have a
goes
food,
to Bermuda, let me know.
yes. I mean, if you can, let us know if things don't get, Bermuda on you, if you know
don't
what I
come
mean.
back, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll know what happened. It was the eels.
We will. Yes, we will report you as missing. We will do a podcast dedicated to you and your efforts.
Yeah, honestly. And if you have a food for thought that you want to add,
it
to
could be
our next
anything.
show, anything at all, we would love to get into it. Feel free to message us. Same thing for what's the cue if you have a funny or just an awesome question you want to get answered on here and you want our opinions.
Go ahead and DM us. Leave us a message. Leave us a message. Tell us. Communicate with us. Communication.
All right, guys. Well,
yeah.
You enjoy your nights or your days, whatever time you're listening to us, and we'll catch you next Wednesday.
Yes, we will catch you next Wednesday. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you, Alex, for being here and being my co-host. And yes, have a good day, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.